This is an AVNation special. My name is Tim Albright. I'm your host. What we're doing is we are previewing InfoComm 2019. Comes your way from Orlando June 8th through the 14th. The actual show floor opens June 12th through the 14th. And with me today to preview Z-Band's booth is Dan Helfrick. Welcome, sir.
Well, thanks. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. You guys are in booth number 960, booth 960. For those of you familiar with the InfoComm show, at 1 year they're in Orlando, 1 year they are in Vegas. In the Orlando show, it's one big hall, so there's not any Hall C, Hall North, anything like that, or like ISE where there's several different halls. This is one big space, and a big space it is. So you guys are in booth number 960. If somebody's coming along and steps into your booth, what are they going to find, Dan?
Well, the big thing that Z-Band specializes in is enterprise video distribution. We deal a lot with healthcare facilities, corporations that are moving video from cable TV providers or internal digital signage, internal messaging, and sending that content to hundreds of televisions. And we do some smaller spaces where we're only doing 20, 25 TVs. But our average project is just over 150 televisions, and that's what you're going to see is our attempts to eliminate coax from in-building video infrastructure. So you'll see RF over Category 6 cabling, you'll see traditional multicast IPTV, you'll see some ability to do RS-232 controls, basically a bunch of different ways to move video over category cabling and try and keep our customers from pulling coax as a video cable.
You say you're trying to eliminate coax. Is that simply because of the cost of pulling, the cost of the actual cable, or the expense of maintaining it, maintaining legacy installations?
We find when we talk to our customers, it's the cost of the maintenance. You know, the initial installation is relatively inexpensive. The system design is mostly straightforward, but you have a lot of people, because everyone has coax in their houses and deals with it residentially, although I guess less so here in the days of cord cutters. But there's a comfort level with coax where people are happy to cut a wire, terminate, bring themselves their own television, and it makes maintenance very difficult. The other thing that we talk about is that there are just less people now that are comfortable supporting coax. We deal a lot with healthcare. It's one of our largest enterprise markets. And 10 years ago, we were dealing with facilities managers. We were dealing with an RF video maintenance person. Now we're dealing with the director of IT or a biomedical engineer. We're working with people that just don't necessarily have that understanding of an RF video system. So it's not necessarily that we set out to eliminate coax, is that we have a lot of our customers have come to us with, I don't want to pull coax because I want to put this on an infrastructure I understand. Can you help us do that?
Absolutely. One thing I find interesting about your product line is that you guys have also developed software because you're kind of moving to the network, to that IT network. You have software now that allows both the integrator as well as the facilities manager to kind of monitor and maintain those video distribution. Talk about a second about that and why that was important to develop.
Sure. So it kind of falls in line with the answer to the last question, where now I'm talking to IT directors when we're trying to sell the product, or talk to biomedical engineers who are used to getting feedback. They're used to being able to get reporting from their systems. They're used to be able to get status monitoring. And from the time that the original technology was developed in the late 90s until we released this product this year, late last year, the system was essentially a giant amplifier splitter that wasn't giving you any feedback. The first feedback you got that there was a problem was that the TV stopped working, which isn't the best feedback from a management standpoint.
And that was usually feedback from the person watching the TV, not from the manager, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we believe what we have developed is the first active monitoring and management of a full enterprise RF system. And what you can actually do with the platform is it can run on a Windows-based server, it can run on a PC, it can run on a Linux OS. We're pretty agnostic with the development of that. And then each of our RF over Category 6 video hubs has its own IP address. And you use the server to poll these boxes every half an hour, every 45 minutes, and they're checking for any significant changes in the RF levels, any ports that have been disconnected, any operating temperature errors that are out of the normal value. So you're getting a lot of that type of stuff. But then you also have the ability to go in and actively manage these boxes. So if you've got a TV or two that's giving you issues, you can change the attenuation on those. And we've actually seen some kind of specialist applications in correctional facilities, that type of stuff, where you can go in and actually disable front panel ports. So if you have people that are on restriction, or if for whatever reason, if you're in like an MDU and someone doesn't pay their bill, you actually have the ability to disable individual ports from that software as well. Then the last piece is being able to take RF level readings on each individual port, which may not be as helpful for the customers as it is to us. Like I said, we're one of the companies that consider ourselves to be experts in RF. And so most of the installations that we're dealing with, our customers don't have RF meters, they don't necessarily have fiber meters. So to be able to remote in via a software application and get those measurements is incredibly helpful from a diagnostic standpoint for our technicians and engineers.
Very good. Some very good stuff. Dan, you guys are in booth number 960 at InfoComm 2019. If somebody is not going to the show, but they want to find out more about Z-Band and follow along as you guys inevitably will release some new products at InfoComm, how do they do that?
So obviously the big one's the webpage, which is www.z-band.com. We also have Twitter, which is at ZBandTech, and then our LinkedIn and Facebook profiles are Z-Band Technologies.
All right, very good. Dan Helfrick from Z-Band. Again, you can find them at booth number 960 at InfoComm 2019. For us, for AVNation, you can go by the website, avnation.tv, avnation.tv, and follow along as we also head to InfoComm 2019 from Orlando, Florida, June 12th through the 14th. All that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.